players of the week, because we talked about, obviously, Cam Hrdlicka is the Sasktel goalie of the week. He was outstanding this week in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, helping the Estevan Bruins to 3 more wins. They've won 5 in a row. But let's jump to the SGEU MVP of the week, and that being Jake Southgate of the Battlefords North Stars. And the interesting thing with the Stars is with how good they've been this season, really, there's a bunch of players that could easily be MVP of the week for them. But Jake Southgate, 1 goal, 5 assists this past week. He was outstanding.
I think every single week, at least one of the 4 players of the week have been on the Battlefords North Stars, but there's no surprise why. And now it's just another one of the key cogs that just keeps that engine rolling up front in Jake Southgate, the captain, the Battlefords native. I know we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about Thanksgiving coming up later in the show, but what teams are thankful for. Yeah. Having a hometown grown boy on a roster wearing the C, and I know they have a litany of players that are the reason they're 10-0, but that is something that just means so much to a community, to the players around him, and I love to see Jake Southgate having a great year here. Yeah, and it's another thing where it's a kid that was recruited young, a little unknown, local, as you mentioned, but a lot of these Battlefords kids aren't just dropped into the team this year either. They've been together a couple of years, so that chemistry is also already there in spades. And Jake Southgate, Jeremy, a big part of that, obviously, he's got guys around him, and this weekend, no Steve Kesslering, so a few more minutes for Jake Southgate, which, I'm sure Braden Klamosko's okay with. And he proved that he can do it. He's, again, one of those shooters in this league. He's one of the top ones. 4-point night in Weyburn, too, so, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, a goal and 3 assists against Weyburn on Saturday, and well-deserved for Jake Southgate being the SGEU MVP of the week. All right, DirectWest Rookie of the Week, and this time for Rookie of the Week, we go in between the pipes, and that being Reid Lalon of the Nipawin Hawks. He got 2 starts in the 3 games and 3 nights for the Nipawin Hawks, and the 2 games he played, he was rock solid in between the pipes for them. Obviously, he was in the 5-2 win against the Notre Dame Hounds, and then the 3-2 shootout loss against the Weyburn Red Wings. Nugsy, I mean, you saw him on Tuesday. What'd you think of Reid's play?
Yeah, it was solid, and I think it was a rough first period, but it was a much more even second and third for Notre Dame and Nipawin, and he made some big saves, and the game could have changed, and the momentum could have changed quickly. The Hounds were very happy with the way they played on the night before, against Estevan. Cam Hrdlicka stood on his head. Yeah. So the Hounds came into that game with a lot of confidence, actually put up some great chances. Reid Lalon really shut the door in key moments, and they always talk about sometimes it's not about how many saves, it's which saves you make, and Reid Lalon made the right ones against Notre Dame.
Oh, he was in net for all 3 of their 6 points this week, too. The rookie goaltender, him and Nolan McDowell, gave Tad Kozin a reason to trade Harmon Laserhume up to Flin Flon. I know we talked about that last week. But, yeah, it was the Nipawin Hawks needing to just pick up points where they can, and Reid Lalon helped them pick up the 3 out of the possible 6 this week.
And having confidence, I think, in a young goaltender, too. Like, sometimes I think in junior hockey, it's easy to go with a veteran in between the pipes, but to have the confidence in a young goaltender like Reid Lalon, Tad Kozin has shown that this year, because Lalon's been in, I would say, the majority of their games so far.
And it's actually one of the questions I want to ask Cam Hrdlicka when we get him on the show is how much confidence did you gain from
100%.
Having the trust of a team that knew they were loading up for the Centennial Cup? And I think he moves them into this season. But now Nipawin is a team that's trying to move into the playoffs. And they, are trusting 2 young goaltenders. So this can be, not valuable for just this season, a lot more moving forward as well.
Yeah, and to that point, Rory, I mean, I think the way that this league keeps getting better and growing is that it's a complete meritocracy, every team, right? And what I mean by that is, if you are the better team in camp, I don't care if you're 20, I don't care if you're returning, I don't care where you're from. If you're the better guy, you're going to get the spot, and you can't have those little nepotisms, those little, nitty-gritty things where you are like given the spot. You have to earn it. And Laserhume and Chase Ham, lost out to McDowell and Lalonde, and that's Tad Kozin's prerogative. And fair enough, those 2 guys deserved it, and they've shown their coach to be smart so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, Reid Lalonde, obviously, he earned the job. He earned the starting job in Nipawin, and obviously, so far this year, it seems like he's kind of taken the ball and run with it a little bit. Finally, Defenseman of the Week, and we talked about Estevan having such a successful week, going 3-0, and one of their leaders was on the blue line in Alex Blanchard. 2 goals, 2 assists. We talked about the blue line for Estevan, really producing offensively for them as well as playing, obviously, great defense.
I think we were expecting this from Blanchard maybe a little bit earlier in the season, just based off of his pedigree coming into the Estevan Bruins blue line. But we've seen it before with major junior guys coming in. It's a different animal, this league. Is it as high-end? You know what I mean? Like, of course, there's more high-end talented, and it is major junior as opposed to junior A, but the style of play can sometimes take a little bit of a learning curve to find that extra room, to find that extra time before a body's right on you. And Alex Blanchard, you expect him to be a really high offensive-powered defenseman, and this week I think you just saw him being a lot more comfortable with the Bruins.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think again, like they found a partner that fits him well too, and Alexa Babic, who's simple and safe and good, and let go be yourself, Blanchard, express yourself, and I love those Ontario boys. That Rory Welland, Ontario, Niagara area, same area that Jason Tatarnic is from, so a little bit of a connection there, but never hurts. And there you go, Babic and Blanchard, 2 Ontario boys figuring it out for Estevan. Gotta love those Ontario boys.
And we were talking about, again, like their blue line continues to produce, and with his week where he got 2 goals and 2 assists, I do believe now he's tied for 3rd in SJHL defenseman scoring. So they're getting a lot of contributions from their blue line, and I think for Estevan this year, do you think for them to be successful this year, they're going to have to get the contributions from their blue line?
I think they're going to have to get contributions from everyone.
Right, fair.
They don't have Olivier Pouliot, Mark Rumsey, who can win a game single-handedly. Cade Runkey's been great. I'm not taking anything away from Cade Runkey, but they're going to need to be a complete team, I think, this year, as opposed to what we were accustomed to seeing last year.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Roy, to that point. We all wondered, okay, last year, last couple of years, Matt Hare has had to change things the way he's done things in Yorkton, because Yorkton had those stars,
Legion,
Jared
Gervais,
Legion, Keyshawn Gervais, Chance Petruic. The list kind of goes on. Chance Petruic, maybe one of the greatest that ever played in the SJ. So he's had to show that, okay, now this is a team that I have to really, really coach and really mold into the style of play and then build an identity. And Jason Tatarnic has that opportunity now, and that's actually, I think, a good thing, a foundation that Estevan can start with. And they're going to keep adding. They added Salvatore Colora, up front. I'm sure they'll add some more as they continue to look, but it's a good foundational start, I think, for Estevan to have to go through tough times and come their way out.
And obviously later on in the show, we'll talk about the games coming up in the next 2 days, but I think one game everyone should be kind of putting their eyes on a little bit is Wednesday nights in Flin Flon against Estevan down at Affinity Place. The first time the 2 teams meet up since last year's final. That is going to be, and just with everything that's happened in the last week with the Von Sprecken trade and everything, that is going to be a game that I don't think fans down in Estevan will want to miss. So just to recap the players of the week, SGEU MVP of the week is Jake Southgate of the Battleford North Stars. Sasktel goalie of the week is Cam Hrdlicka of the Estevan Bruins. DirectWest rookie of the week is Reid Lalonde of the Nipawin Hawks. And finally, the defenseman of the week is Alex Blanchard of the Estevan Bruins.